That isn't really an option. Black Obsidian Jacket, I'm a big fan. Not dead? Oh, he is dead, okay. This is the clip that made me want to make this video. It's the first misunderstanding that I'll be debunking, and just as mind-boggling as the rest. I think we're just gonna have to do it to him. As cruel as it is. I think I might get his anchor up though and move to my boat. He's gonna be respawning in a hot sec here though. In case he uses a blunder, I gotta be careful. Okay. Sorry it had to be this way, sir. I need your gold. It's that easy. I respect the solo plays. It's not easy being out there. You're a newer player, or you gotta... Listen, would you like to communicate? Because if you come on my boat with fire bombs, things will not go well negotiations-wise. Sir, I believe people like me are the reason the game is still around. One was... If I had to guess, you played the game when it first came out. And then you quit for a year and a half, only to come back now. And the skill gap is just a little bit beyond you. You know, there's always something to be said for the skill gap, sir. If you're not willing to acknowledge it, then it will crush you. So I've seen the type before. Obsidian Jacket usually means someone who played day one and now opens the game once a cycle. He acknowledges that I'm right, but apparently interrupting his gold hoarder voyage makes me what's wrong with the game. Usually people are angry when you thieve them because it's frustrating to lose what you quested for, and I get it. But that's the give and take of the game. But I sensed this guy fundamentally thought stealing was wrong in the boat game, so I dug a bit deeper into his mind. We both play roles in this game, sir. It's a shared experience. My definition of grief and yours seems to be quite different. I was here to steal your loot, not grief you. And if you don't understand the distinction, then maybe this isn't the place for you. It's pretty obvious, it's griefing. Okay, so what am I allowed to do? What am I allowed to do? As a pirate who steals thing in a thief game, what am I allowed to do? You might take my pineapple? Steal it from pirates is... Do you're from past pirates? Past pirates? Past pirates? Are you a past pirate? Because I did just steal. I am fulfilling that part of the game. I've also done many voyages. Though I neglect to do the tall tales, I'll be honest. Yes, you read that right. He is suggesting that I guess the gold hoarder re-buries loot, and by doing future gold hoarder voyages, you are stealing from past pirates. In a weird roleplay sort of way. Did you not read the pirate codes? The sea unites us all. That's an odd call out to that line in the pirate code, which is basically saying that although there's a lot of political, religious, whatever different opinions out there, we are all united in that we play and love the same game. Not quite that you're not allowed to steal in a pirate game. I'm surprised you don't mind a little bit of PvP to interrupt the mundane voyage experience. And that's about it for this guy. He tries telling me that I was wrong because he didn't have fun fighting me. And I explained that in a game like football or any other game, there's a distinct winner and loser, but no inherent fun associated with either outcome. Whether or not each side had fun is largely up to them and their mindset. In this case, we had a thief versus voyageur 1v1 in which I won, and he chose to not enjoy himself. I mentioned that if someone rumbled me this moment, it would be one of the most exciting moments of my day. He stubbornly doesn't listen, so his residency on my boat ends with a blunder. What's up? I'm friendly!
Hello.
What's up?
Please do not board the ship yet. I'm doing an Athena's right now.
You are, as in only you.
Yeah.
Well,
My
then we're in
team
the same
left me
boat. What's
too.
up? My name's, you can call me Spiff.
Oh, shit. Please don't kill me. It happens all the time.
You've just had a couple people crapping your cornflakes now, haven't you?
Please don't.
Well, you do realize that you are a solo brigantine doing the most sought-after quest in the game, and you don't even have food in your barrels. You're throwing meat out to the sharks, dude. And there we have it. This guy doesn't want to get thieves, so he's done a great job of looking out for boats and communicating intentions. Sea of Thieves is fairly well made, so if you don't want to fight or interact, there are things you can do to make that happen. Get and use good food. Keep your anchor up and pointed in the right direction. Keep a lookout and have a max capacity crew who communicates. Here we have someone who, like I said, doesn't want to be thieved, and yet is sitting here like a coffee crisp in a bowl of Smarties just waiting for anyone who justly wants his loot to take it. The game does a great job of making all playstyles available. Play how you want and don't shoot yourself in the foot. I'll pin these guys, get a bit closer. Sloop, I specifically hired you to take out the galleon. Look at this boat, you know? What do you do? You'll often hear that the game isn't feasible as a solo player, or that it isn't fun solo. Anyone who says that hasn't tasted the sweet victory of winning a 1v2, 3, or 4. You're never alone because however you play, there's always a threat around the corner. The sloop is an incredibly versatile boat with easy steering, managing, repairing, and a healthy knowledge of harpoon use helps as well. A good solo sloop is dangerous for all but the best crews of Sea of Thieves. Yeah, here's our Tuck Lord. There goes the Tuck Lord. Spawn camping. The bane of any Sea of Thieves player, the ultimate disrespect. Be it to sink a boat without many holes or send a message, it is not griefing or bannable. I think Summit says it best.
Some people might feel harassed when I don't say a fucking word, but I'm just sinking their ship. It's not my fault I only got a small-ass hole on your ship, and I gotta kill you 40 times. I'm sorry. I would like to have 4 big-ass holes on your ship, and me be on my merry way, you know?
However, spawn capping is harassment if they're specifically trying to get you to leave the game to set up a server alliance, or if they are being toxic in a sexist, racist, or abusive way. Sea of Thieves has a system for players to escape a spawn camp. On the Ferry of the Damned, it clearly says, if you're sick of dying, scuttle. Spawn camping until someone scuttles without holes is not bannable, but I do not personally do it out of respect for my fellow player.
If you can't acknowledge your own abusive behavior, right, and your reaction is to attack someone, and you're entitled to be toxic, you have no place in the gaming community. You just don't. Why did you come to the Sea of Thieves community to only therefore then be toxic and get some of the high caliber skilled Sea Dog 101 players banned?
This is probably the most mind-numbing thing that has ever happened in this game. Sea of Thieves is one game that fails incredibly hard to elaborate on their bans.
In such a diverse game like Sea of Thieves, issues are bound to come up. Sometimes developer teams can ignore them and let it sort out in the community. But in this case, a large streamer felt as if they'd been subject to abusive toxicity. Rare lashed out in response, banning upwards of 70 Sea of Thieves PvP players, Windows IP bans, so they couldn't even make another account. They took a severe stance against the apparent toxicity and turned those players and their significant following against the game. The players weren't without fault, as jokingly using the phrase "Pace22 get raped" was enough for Sea of Thieves to justify a mass ban. A number of these players made videos telling their side of the story, well documented by the video that I showed a clip from by Boy Dude Man, which I'll link in the description. Their videos make a strong argument that it was harsh, that they were subject to similar levels of toxicity from the side that reported them, and it's hard to say they're wrong, but I know for a fact they could have avoided the situation if they left the term rape out of it. And many of these players were younger, so Rare likely considers it a lesson learned for them. Rare failing to elaborate on these bans, however, severely clouds that possibility, because it removes the potential that these players fully understand and be able to learn from why they were banned. In all scenarios of toxicity, the world should not seek to destroy those who wronged it, but instead set them up to right their ways. As it is Rare's game, they have all the rights to do what they did, but thoroughly explaining what each player did wrong and giving them an opportunity to change, develop, and get back in the game as a good community example would have made a beautiful story, and instead, it is just a heartbreaking tale of seeing the unwilling end of some of the most loyal Sea of Thieves players. And, of course, there's always the brute force way of curbing toxicity.
You'll see people talk shit to us in a racist, sexist, whatever the fuck way, right? And we will retaliate with shitting on them and letting them know, fuck you.
That is if you can catch them. The last thing I'll be covering is running in Sea of Thieves. We've all been there. Being in either position sucks. Okay. I never turned. Don't know how we missed the board. The boat chasing wants a chance to fight, and the boat running wants to escape with their loot. Let's talk about this. Running is natural if you have loot and don't want to lose it, Where are we and going, don't think you can Sloop? win the fight or don't have supplies. If you don't have loot, save yourself some time and just fight. If you go down, you won't even have lost anything. Currently, the sloop and galleon are well balanced for speed because the galleon dominates with wind and the sloop is the fastest against the wind. It is brigantines which raise issues. They're the fastest boat overall, rocking an impressive side wind speed. If sailed right, they can even catch a sloop going into the wind by strafing and catching what bits of side wind they can. Then of course they beat galleons against the wind, and only really lose out against galleons with full straight wind. If you get in a position where you're chasing a brigantine who knows their stuff, don't even bother. Save yourself some time, their pixels aren't worth it. Boats shouldn't go slower with loot, because an experienced crew can already catch a running boat of less experienced players, depending on if a brigantine is involved. Oh my god, these guys are paying.
Up there. You gonna talk?
No,
You gonna try to?
you don't see me. Oh god, I'm T-posing. Julian, they have a fair amount of loot on them. We might just want to sink them. Plus,
Do
these
they?
guys are held. You guys are pretty observant, aren't you? Oh my god, they hit me? Okay,
So,
I'm sword lunging over. It's go time.
Alright.
It's so easy to fight and argue about how Sea of Thieves should change, because it's a game made for anyone to play in any way. I can't name many games where I can run into a father and daughter having a virtual fishing trip, and then get 360 hardscoped by a sweat lord within 15 minutes. Not to mention that the water and sky of Sea of Thieves is a sight to behold. Who is this game for? What kind of player is this game for? It's a game for the adventurer. I'm not going to play this game forever, but I know that some of my fondest gaming memories and best online connections I've made will be through this game. God knows it has problems and controversies and misunderstandings and everything under the sun, but I still can't help but love it. It's not the most popular game around, and that's largely due to the large amount of downtime between islands if you're questing, or the time between fights. For me, that just makes everything a little bit more tense and a little bit more special. It seems that every time you play, you run into a situation that's completely new, and new nonsense, like some of what I covered, despite having played this game for over a year. I won't be around forever, Sea of Thieves, but for now, I'm happy to be here. Another Tuck Lord with the crap sword. That outfit really goes with that sword. Not. Let's freaking go, Bugs. This is sick. This is holy shit. It's not even. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yeah, this is a lot. This is a lot. I'm going for back spawns. We gotta make sure we get those kills.
Yeah.